Arsenal have just landed a verbal agreement with a $55 million striker who could transform their attack. Welcome to Arsenal News TV, your go-to source for everything Arsenal FC. Today we're diving into the red-hot transfer rumors swirling around the Emirates, including a blockbuster move for Sporting CP's Viktor Gyokeres, a potential swoop for a championship gem, and a surprise interest in Bayern Munich's Leroy Sane. Plus we've got massive news on Gabriel Magalhaes' contract extension. Stick around for 11 minutes of in-depth analysis, exclusive insights, and what this all means for Arsenal's future. Let's get started. First up, Arsenal's striker hunt is heating up, and the name on everyone's lips is Viktor Gyokeres. According to journalist Sacha Tavolieri, the Sporting CP star has already given his verbal agreement to join Arsenal. This is huge! Gyokeres, 27-year-old Swedish striker, smashed an incredible 54 goals last season in Portugal. That is the kind of firepower Arsenal desperately need after scoring just 69 Premier League goals last term, 22 fewer than the season before. The Gunners have been crying out for a marquee striker, and Gyokeres could be the answer. But here's the catch. He thrives in transition, running into space, which isn't always Arsenal's game under Mikel Arteta. Can he adapt to breaking down low block defenses? That's the big question. Sporting CP are ready to let him go for around $55 million, a price Arsenal can afford without worrying about profit and sustainability rules. With financial expert Kieran Maguire confirming Arsenal could spend over $200 million this summer, the funds are there. No excuses, Gooners. This could be the signing that takes Arsenal's attack to the next level. But Gyokeres isn't the only striker on Arsenal's radar. They're also in talks with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko, a 21-year-old Slovenian with a $67 million release clause. Sesko scored 21 goals last season, and his ability to score from long range adds a different dimension. Arsenal are playing it smart, pursuing both Gyokeres and Sesko to avoid being left empty-handed. However, there's a twist. Eintracht Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike, a 22-year-old Frenchman, is emerging as a dark horse. Liverpool are pushing hard for Ekitike, but some argue he's a better fit for Arsenal's system than Gyokeres. Ekitike can link play, run in behind, and dominate the box, versatility that could suit Arteta's tactical demands. He's even scored against Tottenham in Europe, which would make him an instant fan favorite. At $84 million, he's pricier, but his youth and potential could make him a long-term investment. Who would you pick, Gooners? Gyokeres, Sesko, or Ekitike? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're loving this transfer breakdown, give us a quick like. Now, let us talk about a hidden gem Arsenal are chasing. Blackburn Rovers' 17-year-old striker Igor Tyjon. According to transfer expert Alan Nixon, Arsenal are working on a deal worth over $1 million for the championship talent. Dubbed seriously eye-catching, Tyjon made 2 senior appearances for Blackburn last season and is considered their most exciting prospect since Adam Wharton. This kid is special. He has already scored 2 goals on his England under-16s debut and has represented both England and Poland at youth international level. Arsenal's academy has produced stars like Bukayo Saka, Ethan Nwaneri, and Miles Lewis-Skelly, and Tyjon could be next in line. After losing Chido Obi-Martin to Manchester United's academy, Arteta is clearly looking to bolster the youth ranks with a striker prospect. Tyjon's potential move to the Emirates could be a shrewd investment for the future, but Blackburn will demand a hefty fee for their prized asset. Is this the kind of signing that could pay off big time in a few years? Shifting gears, Arsenal aren't just looking at strikers, they're also eyeing Bayern Munich's Leroy Sane. Journalist Ben Jacobs reports that Arsenal are certainly in the race for the 30-year-old winger whose contract expires in a month. Sane, earning $325,000 a week, scored 11 goals in the Bundesliga last season, his best tally yet at Bayern. With 39 goals and 44 assists in 133 games during his Manchester City days, Sane knows the Premier League inside out. He'd provide much-needed backup for Bukayo Saka and competition for Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. Bayern are trying to extend his deal, but Sane's also talking to other clubs, giving him leverage. Could he be the superstar signing Arsenal need to strengthen their wings Imagine Sane cutting in from the right, linking up with a new striker like Gyokeres or Ekitike. It's an exciting thought, but will Arsenal outmaneuver Bayern to secure his signature? On the defensive front, Arsenal's new sporting director Andrea Berta is making waves. He's opened talks to sign Parma's 18-year-old centre-back Giovanni Leoni, who's also being chased by Juventus, Inter Milan, and Manchester United. Described as commanding by scout Ben Mattinson, Leoni has emerged as a key player for Parma in Serie A despite his young age. With Real Madrid sniffing around William Saliba, signing a talented young defender like Leoni could be a smart move to future-proof Arsenal's backline. Gabriel and Saliba have been a rock-solid partnership, but Leoni's aerial dominance and duel-winning ability make him a top target. At just $7 million, he's a bargain compared to Arsenal's other transfer targets. Do you think Leoni could be the next big thing in Arsenal's defense? Speaking of defense, we've got massive news about Gabriel Magalhaes. Arsenal have agreed a contract extension with a Brazilian until 2029, boosting his salary from $6 million to $8 million per year. The 27-year-old has been a cornerstone of Arteta's project since joining from Lille in 2020 with 160 appearances, 17 goals, and 57 clean sheets. Despite missing the last 12 games due to a serious ankle injury, Gabriel's leadership and partnership with Saliba have been praised by the likes of Jamie Carragher. This new deal is a statement of intent from Arsenal, securing one of their best players for the long haul. But here's a question. With Gabriel sidelined, has Jurrien Timber's emergence at right back put Ben White's starting spot in jeopardy? Timber was outstanding while White recovered from knee surgery, and Arteta now faces a selection headache. Interestingly, White could have a unique perspective on the Gyokeres transfer. He assisted the striker in a Brighton U23 match back in 2018. Could their pass connection help Arsenal as pursuit? Let's zoom out and look at Arsenal's bigger picture. Their 2-1 win over Southampton last weekend shows they're still in the title race, but the Premier League table is tight. Manchester City, Chelsea, and Everton all picked up wins, while Liverpool dropped points in a 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace. Arsenal's financial flexibility means they can go big this summer, but Arteta's cautious approach suggests they'll spend wisely. The sales of homegrown talents like Emile Smith-Rowe and Eddie Nketiah have given Arsenal pure profit to offset their spending. And with 3 consecutive second-place finishes and a Champions League semi-final run, the club is in a strong position. But the pressure is on to deliver a striker. As Kieran Maguire put it, there can be no excuses for failing to sign one. What do you think Arteta's priority should be? A proven goal scorer like Gyokeres, a young talent like Ekitike, or a versatile winger like Sane? We're halfway through, Gooners, and this transfer talk is getting spicy. What are your thoughts on Arsenal's summer plans? Drop a comment below. And if you're finding this update valuable, a quick like would be amazing. Let's keep the momentum going. Now, let's explore what these signings could mean for Arsenal's squad. A new striker like Gyokeres or Ekitike could finally solve Arsenal's goal-scoring woes. Last season's 69 goals were a far cry from the output needed to challenge Manchester City. Gyokeres' 54 goals in Portugal are hard to ignore, but his age and style raise questions about his fit. Ekitike, at 22, offers long-term potential and versatility, while Sesko's youth and X-Factor could make him a fan favorite. On the wing, Sane's experience could allow Saka to rest without dropping quality, while Leoni's arrival would add depth behind Gabriel and Saliba. Arsenal's academy is already producing stars, and adding Tyjon could ensure the pipeline stays strong. But here's a thought. With so many targets, is Arsenal spreading themselves too thin, or is this multi-front approach the key to avoiding last summer's disappointments? Let's talk tactics for a moment. Arteta's system relies on control, but Arsenal often struggle against teams that sit deep. Gyokeres thrives in open games, which could be a mismatch. Ekitike, on the other hand, can link play and create in tight spaces, much like Alexander Isak, who's staying at Newcastle. Could Ekitike be the stylistic fit Arsenal need? And with Sane potentially joining, Arteta could rotate his wingers to keep them fresh for the grueling Premier League and Champions League schedule. Defensively, Leoni's youth means he'd likely be a backup, but his commanding presence suggests he could challenge for a spot sooner than expected. What's your take, Gooners? Which signing would transform Arsenal's starting scene the most? As we wrap up, let's reflect on Arsenal's transfer strategy. Andrea Berta's arrival as sporting director has injected fresh energy into the club's recruitment. From Gyokeres' verbal agreement to talks for Sesko, Sane, Leoni and Tyjon, Arsenal are casting a wide net. The Gabriel extension shows they're securing their core while planning for the future. With over 200 million to spend and no PER concerns, this could be the window where Arsenal finally bridge the gap to Manchester City. But the clock is ticking. The transfer window is open now, but closes briefly on June 10th before reopening on June 16th. Will Arteta and Berta pull off a blockbuster signing before then? That's it for today's Arsenal News TV update. To recap, Arsenal are chasing Viktor Gyokeres, Benjamin Sesko and Hugo Ekitike up top, with Leroy Sane and Igor Tyjon as exciting options for the wings and academy. Giovanni Leoni could bolster the defense, and Gabriel's new deal is a massive boost. What's next for Arsenal? Will they land their dream striker, or is a surprise signing on the horizon? Don't forget to subscribe for daily Arsenal updates and hit that notification bell. What do you want us to cover next? Let us know in the comments. Until tomorrow, stay proud, Gooners, and keep the faith.